Rainbow Six Siege has enjoyed something of a renaissance over the last year. There has been a record amount of new players and the game is constantly being updated with new content. But it's not all lollipops and rainbows. Siege is under fire from some very unhappy players.
In a post titled, "What the hell, Ubisoft?" Reddit user Calthramis took it upon themselves to outline a crop of ongoing problems in Rainbow Six Siege. That post currently has over 14,000 upvotes at the time of recording. Siege has been enjoying a lot of great publicity lately, with Ubi seemingly making some great moves with the game. But it appears some of the community isn't happy at all. You see, everything began with the new Operation Outbreak event, which introduced a new game mode and a bunch of content. But Outbreak also brought with it a new type of loot box called Outbreak Packs. As part of the Outbreak announcement, Ubisoft said new players would get 14 free Outbreak Packs, while existing players would only be given 4. After this announcement, Siege players reacted badly, and Ubisoft offered the Ash Elite character skin as compensation to veterans and reduced the amount of free Outbreak Packs to 4 across the board.
However, a data miner discovered that the Ash Elite skin was originally meant to be a part of the Black Viper set, which was going to be purchased with Renown, which is Siege's in-game currency. This discovery led players to believe that Ubisoft had cannibalized the Black Viper set so they didn't have to devalue the Outbreak Packs by using the Outbreak items as compensation. So I suppose that is very specific, but if you're in the game, you're playing it a lot and you're a veteran, I think that's the first thing we should point out, that a lot of the complaints you're about to hear are from veterans, people who've been playing the game for a long time. It would seem unfair. It's like if you're a new customer, you look at, if you've been loyal to a company for a while or something, or you've been using their product for a while, I guess loyalty, you're just enjoying the game, aren't you? But if you've been playing the game for a while and you've seen other players coming in and they're getting all this stuff, and you're like, what? They've just joined the party and they're getting all this free shit. I've been here for years and you're not giving me this stuff. So that's kind of where a lot of this is coming from, and that's what that kind of thing is about.
I get the same thing with Sky TV.
Exactly.
Bullshit, isn't it? New customers only, my arse.
But this is just one of the complaints that players are levelling at Siege at the moment. Some have taken issue with the game's technical test server, which they have called absolutely useless. The server is meant to be used to find bugs and test out changes to the game, like weapon balancing. According to Calthramis' post, however, the test server serves little to no purpose, and apparently only 2 bug fixes from the test server have ever been implemented in the regular game. And apparently Siege is also still suffering from bugs and performance issues that have been present in the game for months now.
Another criticism is that when the Outbreak event was announced, players were under the assumption that they could earn Outbreak Packs by playing the Outbreak game mode. But at some point Ubisoft backtracked on this idea and made it so the only way to get Outbreak Packs was to buy them using real world money. And to make matters worse, Ubisoft also increased the price of weapon skins, with the most expensive skin now costing 15,000 Renown. For comparison, before the Outbreak event, the most expensive weapon skin cost less than half that at 7,000. And perhaps the biggest issue players have had with the price changes is the fact the company has made Renown worth less versus R6 credits, which are bought using real world money. A Ubisoft representative confirmed this change was intentional, saying, quote, "We're going to be harmonizing the R6 credit Renown ratio more or less across the board moving forward. While we won't be able to get it on the dot in every situation, we are aiming for 600 R6 credits equals 25,000 Renown. By harmonizing, you mean just taking stuff off people. We're going to make it more harmonized, more harmony. Harmony in the world is what we need."
Well, sounds good to me. It's also worth mentioning that as part of the Outbreak event, Ubisoft made all the base operators free, operators being the characters that you can use obviously, but they would not be reimbursing anyone who spent money on them before the update. And to cap it off, players have been incredibly angry about the game's Starter Edition, which the Siege community has affectionately dubbed the Trap Edition. Rainbow Six Siege Starter Edition is a reduced cost version of the game, which draws players into a huge grind if they want to unlock things like additional operators to use. It doesn't help that there is no clear way to upgrade the Starter Edition if you get sick of the grind either. After many complaints from fans, Ubisoft announced they would be making the Starter Edition better by including 2 additional operators in the purchase. However, this change only applies to people who buy the Starter Edition after the update, and people who bought it before are shit out of luck. They get nothing.
New customers only.
Exactly. That's what a lot of this complaint is about. It feels to players that have been playing for a while that they're not getting anything, while new players and new customers are getting a lot.
Shake my head. Despite all these problems, we should point out that Siege has been a massive success in the last year. The game's player base keeps on growing, and it recently hit its all-time highest peak concurrent player count. Steam Charts reported on March the 7th, 2018 that Siege had reached a concurrent player count of 176,000 players, up from the 47,000 peak concurrent players it had 1 year ago.
So this has all come from one thread, really, but it is a massive thread. It's got 14,000 upvotes and countless comments of people just weighing in with their own opinions and agreeing on whatever. And it just kind of underlines the fact that while a lot of things are going well for Siege and the game itself is doing really well, those numbers, those player count numbers are really good, and I'm happy for Ubisoft that the game's doing well because they've been supporting it so well post-launch and stuff and keeping the community engaged. And it shows that players care about it so much because the subreddit is really, really buzzing and busy, and when there's something is upsetting them, they want to get it off their chest, right? And so that's where all this comes from. It feels like veteran players and stuff as well that have been around for a long time. They're the ones with the biggest complaints, obviously. The ones that are new are still going to be in kind of a honeymoon period. There is another thread as well that's got about 6,500 upvotes, and that's more of a debate where people are saying, is this really a problem? And they're debating like, oh, we're complaining too much. They're giving us a lot of free stuff. They are giving away a lot of free content. They're adding new content to the game constantly as well. So there is a debate around this, but there's no question that some players are unhappy.
Yeah, this thread reads like a super moan thread.
Whinge, yeah.
Like it's detailed all the little gripes and things that a lot of community have, and they wouldn't have the gripes if they didn't love the game, if they didn't enjoy playing the game.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to take from it. Is like this game is super. They just move on to a different game if they didn't like it so much. They love it. They want it to be the best that it can be, and that's the reason for people outlining the things that should be improved. And on Ubisoft's case, it's a case of them trying different things, like trying the microtransactions, trying to get people in, supporting a game long term. A multiplayer game like this, it's difficult, right? You've got to keep everybody happy as well as keep the pricing model or how you make money from it as optimal as possible. But I find that it seems that Ubisoft now are kind of straddling this line where if they push too hard, they'll get backlash. They kind of almost over the line, but they just step back every so often when they piss somebody off. But they seem to be doing it all right. I mean, compared with EA, they're doing a pretty good job. But you know, obviously there's always things to be improved, and there's always people who'll have complaints and suggestions how to improve it. It's just up to the community to highlight the things that they could be doing better, and hopefully they take note.
So that's how a certain subset of players feel about Rainbow Six Siege. What about you? Are you playing the game? What do you think about the latest changes? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every day. Now there's another video right there which you can watch right now if you want, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.